I was fronting the news in the 90s, and it seemed to be a time when there were stories of horrific child abuse in the bulletin almost on a nightly basis. And I felt as though I was just delivering this catalogue of disaster into the nation's living rooms. And I wondered what it was that would cause people to be so lacking in empathy towards these most vulnerable children. And also, of course, how we could break the cycle of violence. The key moment for me was being invited to join the board of a big international congress that was held here on child abuse and neglect. And the keynote speaker at that congress was one Dr. Bruce Perry. And his message was our very first relationships with our primary caregivers, mum and dad or grandparents, are absolutely vital, more important than we ever believed possible. They literally trigger connections in the brain and go a long way to determining the sort of adult we become. When we're born, we have our full complement of brain cells, and only 15% of them, though, are connected. And that's just the survival mechanism. The rest of them, the 85%, come together largely in that first year. And they're triggered by our experiences of nurture and the environment in which we grow. Attachment really makes us who we are in a lot of ways, because every time you hold a baby in your arms and you gaze into his eyes and you comfort him or feed him or change a nappy, all those interactions are building these attachment pathways. And when a child has a secure attachment, they learn to trust the world and they can absorb everything that comes their way. They also are able to understand the feelings and needs of other people, to feel empathy. Trauma is incredibly damaging for little brains. Children who grow up in abusive environments where they fear the very people who should be their greatest protectors are likely to become wired for the fight or flight response. So you can see how this would impact on their whole lives. I think the joy about the information that Brainwave delivers is that it is universal, it's cross-cultural, it doesn't have any religious or ethnic divide, and it is something that is fundamentally important to each and every one of us. We target early childhood teachers, we've delivered to the police, justice, youth justice, politicians, so really anybody who has an impact on the life of a child. Truly it's a joy to be a grandparent. I find that I'm so much better at grandparenting than I was at parenting. And that's the thing about Brainwave. We always say to parents, look, you don't have to be perfect. Good enough is fine. My hope for New Zealand children is that each and every one of them gets the best possible start in life because their parents and caregivers understand the brain science. I hope that one day we won't need Brainwave, really. I hope that it's inherent in everybody that you can make the most amazing difference in your child's outcomes through the simple act of nurture.